The United States is widely recognized for its economic growth and technological advancements. However, in some states, the quality of life has been on a downward trend over the past 50 years, raising concerns that they might be on the brink of collapse in 2024. Welcome to our channel, where we explore various places around the world. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell icon to stay updated with our latest content. In today's video, we'll discuss the 5 states that are at risk of collapsing in 2024. We'll delve into the interconnected issues of economic instability, natural disasters, inadequate infrastructure, poor healthcare, and political mismanagement that could contribute to their potential downfall. Stick around until the end to get the full picture. Without further delay, let's dive into the list. 1. Alaska. Alaska faces a unique set of challenges threatening its stability and sustainability. Despite its rugged and self-reliant image, the state is heavily dependent on external supplies for essentials like food and fuel. This reliance makes Alaska vulnerable to any disruption in supply chains, which could quickly lead to shortages, especially in remote communities with limited access to resources. The state's once thriving crab fishing industry, a cornerstone of its economy, is collapsing due to climate-induced marine heat waves. This environmental impact has not only caused a devastating economic loss of approximately $300 million but has also disrupted local economies heavily reliant on seafood production. As a result, communities dependent on fishing are facing economic hardship and uncertainty, compounded by ongoing challenges in diversifying their economies. Alaska also struggles with severe housing shortages. High costs coupled with limited supply have made homeownership unattainable for many residents, exacerbating social inequalities and posing challenges for attracting and retaining essential workers necessary for sustaining local communities and services. Financially, Alaska is dealing with significant budget deficits, with a 2021 report showing deficits nearing $1.6 billion, depleting its reserves and signaling a looming fiscal crisis. These deficits are partly driven by the state's heavy reliance on oil revenues, which accounted for 80% of unrestricted revenues in 2019. With declining oil production and fluctuating prices, Alaska's fiscal health remains precarious, requiring sustainable economic strategies and fiscal management reforms. Demographically, Alaska has experienced a notable population decline, losing 24,000 residents between 2016 and 2020. This decline reduces the state's tax base, diminishes economic activity, and limits opportunities for growth. Political instability further complicates long-term planning and effective governance, particularly concerning debates over fiscal policies like the Alaska Permanent Fund dividend. 2. California. California is facing a multifaceted array of challenges that pose significant risks to its residents and economy. Among the most pressing are the constant threats of earthquakes and floods, exacerbated by its location on the Pacific Ring of Fire and its diverse geography. Critical infrastructure, such as dams like the Whittier Narrows Dam and the aging power grid, is vulnerable to seismic activity and heavy rains, risking catastrophic damage and substantial economic losses, estimated at over $6 billion in potential flood damages alone. Financial instability looms large over California's banking sector, with recent regulatory changes and the collapse of major banks like Silicon Valley Bank raising concerns about economic stability. These developments highlight the fragility of the state's financial systems and their susceptibility to shocks, potentially impacting businesses and residents alike. Environmental degradation and climate change are persistent threats, with prolonged droughts exacerbating water shortages. Overuse of groundwater in areas like the Central Valley has led to critical water deficits, threatening agricultural productivity, a cornerstone of California's economy. Meanwhile, rising temperatures fuel more frequent and severe wildfires, devastating communities, destroying homes, and straining emergency response efforts. The high cost of living in California is another pressing issue, particularly in densely populated coastal cities like San Francisco and Los Angeles. Skyrocketing housing costs, with average rent exceeding $3,000 per month in major urban centers, contribute to housing insecurity and homelessness, disproportionately affecting minority communities. Homelessness rates in California are the highest in the nation, with socioeconomic disparities worsening the issue. High taxes, including the nation's highest income and wealth taxes, drive businesses and residents to states with lower tax burdens, threatening California's revenue base and exacerbating economic inequality. 3. New York. New York City, a global economic hub and cultural icon, faces a spectrum of challenges that threaten its resilience and well-being. One prominent risk is the potential for food shortages during crises due to the city's dense urban landscape and heavy reliance on external food supplies. This logistical dependency could exacerbate challenges in distributing essential goods during emergencies, potentially leading to widespread shortages and social unrest. High crime rates present another significant concern for New York City. Despite efforts to improve public safety, major crimes have sharply increased in recent years, posing challenges for law enforcement and public safety agencies. During crises, the strain on law enforcement resources could further escalate, impacting the city's ability to maintain order and ensure public security. Economic instability compounds New York's challenges. The city's economy, heavily reliant on sectors like finance, media, and tourism, is susceptible to global economic fluctuations and market disruptions. Recent bankruptcies of financial institutions like Republic First Bank highlight vulnerabilities in the financial sector, contributing to uncertainties in the broader economy and impacting businesses and residents alike. Housing costs in New York City rank among the highest in the nation, with a significant portion of households burdened by housing expenses. The median home price exceeds $400,000, making homeownership out of reach for many residents and exacerbating housing insecurity. High rental costs, particularly in Manhattan and other central areas, further strain household budgets and contribute to socioeconomic disparities. New York's tax burden is among the highest in the country, with substantial income and property taxes placing additional financial pressures on businesses and residents. These high taxes, coupled with the cost of living, contribute to outmigration trends, with hundreds of thousands leaving the city annually in search of more affordable living conditions elsewhere. 4. West Virginia. West Virginia grapples with a complex set of challenges that impact its residents and economic prospects. The devastating opioid crisis is among the foremost issues, exacting a heavy toll on public health and the economy. The state spends nearly $9.9 billion annually combating this crisis, addressing healthcare, criminal justice, and lost productivity due to drug-related issues. High rates of opioid addiction contribute to poor health indicators, including alarmingly high rates of obesity and heart disease, which strain the healthcare system and diminish overall public health outcomes. Frequent flooding adds to West Virginia's woes, with over 1,600 floods occurring between 2010 and 2021, causing significant property damage and loss of life. Inadequate infrastructure exacerbates the impact of flooding, limiting the state's ability to mitigate risks and recover effectively from natural disasters. Legislative changes have relaxed welfare and vaccination regulations, potentially worsening health and economic problems. The decline of the coal industry has further weakened the state's economy. West Virginia's historical reliance on coal mining has left many communities vulnerable to economic decline and job losses. As coal mining jobs diminish, towns face economic devastation, high unemployment rates, and limited job opportunities. Over 300,000 residents live in poverty, with 11 counties experiencing chronic poverty, exacerbating socioeconomic disparities and hindering economic growth. Educational attainment in West Virginia lags behind the national average, with only 19.6% of adults holding a bachelor's degree or higher, compared to the national average of 32%. This educational deficit limits economic opportunities and contributes to persistent poverty and unemployment in the state. Addressing these challenges requires comprehensive strategies that encompass public health interventions, infrastructure improvements, economic diversification, and educational reforms to foster long-term resilience and prosperity in West Virginia. 5. New Mexico. New Mexico confronts a complex web of challenges that threaten its socioeconomic stability and overall well-being. Chief among these challenges is severe poverty, with an alarming 18% poverty rate underscoring widespread financial hardship and economic inequality across the state. High unemployment rates persistently exceed the national average, further exacerbating economic pressures and limiting opportunities for residents. Education outcomes in New Mexico rank among the lowest in the nation, with the state consistently placing last in K-12 education according to national rankings. This educational disadvantage hampers future economic growth and workforce development, perpetuating cycles of poverty and limiting opportunities for social mobility. Water scarcity poses a critical environmental challenge in New Mexico, exacerbated by prolonged droughts that have strained agricultural production and municipal water supplies. These conditions threaten local economies dependent on agriculture and exacerbate challenges in managing water resources sustainably for both urban and rural communities. Infrastructure deficiencies also loom large, with New Mexico earning a subpar C rating from the American Society of Civil Engineers for its infrastructure quality. Aging roads, bridges, and utilities require urgent investment and modernization to support economic growth, public safety, and community resilience. High crime rates further strain communities across New Mexico, with violent crime incidents consistently above national averages. These issues contribute to social instability, undermine community well-being, and pose challenges for law enforcement and criminal justice systems. And there you have it, the 5 states in the U.S. at risk of collapse in 2024. Each of these states faces a unique set of challenges, from economic instability and infrastructure deficiencies to social and environmental issues. It's essential for policymakers, residents, and communities to address these challenges proactively to build resilience and ensure a stable future. Thanks for watching, and if you found this video informative, please like, share, and subscribe for more content.